Welcome to Glenda Blasts Your Ear Off, flash fiction stories written by Josh Busch and narrated by Glenda Villamar. Enjoy! You have 1,440 minutes in a day. Use 5 of those minutes and visit freerice.com to play trivia games and help end world hunger. freerice.com. If you would like to donate to help support the podcast, you can donate at ko-fi.com. That's ko-fi.com. And you can also buy our ebook anthology, compiling the stories from our first 10 episodes. You can find our book on lulu.com. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. Episode 17, Be Your People. Annika crouched down, trying to make herself as small as possible, invisible, so she wouldn't be found. She was behind some machine that was always banging for some reason. Annika thought that maybe the banging would distract the monster that was in the spaceship from noticing her. She looked out the window into space and could see the oddly shaped spaceship that only an hour ago had glommed onto the spaceship she was on now. Annika whispered, "What a weird ship. What kind of ship has tentacles that move? They're like legs that can't stop moving when you're trying to get to sleep. Doesn't this ship know it should stop moving so it can conserve energy and not waste fuel?" Tamar pondered. Maybe these writhing tentacles are doing something we don't understand. Annika, as was her habit in times of stress, bit the inside of her cheek. But she bit so hard she could taste blood. But she barely registered the stab of pain or the drops of blood that tasted like metal. Like, it's helping the invader on this ship find out where the crew is. Tamar said gravely, "Something like that." Annika tried to make herself even smaller. She hugged into herself, trying to make her arms and legs burrow into herself, so she looked like a nut. And then she tried to make the nut shrink, and shrink, and shrink, until she was only an inch by an inch. Surely the monster couldn't find her now. But it was fantasy, wishful thinking, that she could turn into something so small. She would eventually be found. Annika said, "What did the crew of the ship do to deserve this?" Tamar chuckled. "You know. You saw. This weird ship's engines. When the ship entered the atmosphere of that planet, the engine's exhaust and whatever was in the atmosphere didn't like one another." Annika interrupted. "It was so beautiful, though. I've never seen blue like that before. The glow of it, and the different shades that seemed to be alive. So vibrant, so mystical. It was magic. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." Tamar added, "Yeah, and then that blue, fire, turned its attention to that planet and burned everything on the surface. I don't think I'll ever be able to get the image out of my head of that metropolis getting obliterated like that. It happened so fast. I can't imagine how many souls died because of this stupid ship we're on." Annika grunted and watched the tentacles of the ship outside. "I don't like how hot it is in here. Why can't it be like tundra at home? I want the cold again. Its gentle embrace, like Mama holding us tight and safe." Tamar comforted, I know. Yes. Think of home. That will help. Away from the heat of this ship. Pretend we're home again, on our world. The wonderfully cold wind, blowing a foot of newly fallen snow around, and it's dancing like a happy creature with a body that has no end. And our cousins have come home with their nets filled with birds that the wind knocked down from the sky. Our neighbors are drumming a gentle beat that you can feel in your bones." Annika added, "We're in our village, and everything is the way it's supposed to be, and nothing bad can ever happen." Annika paused and asked, "Why did it have to change? Why?" Tamar cleared her throat. "Disease happens. People get sick." Annika jumped as she heard a scream, a horrible scream of someone being found and hurt. The scream went on and on. A minute went by, and Annika couldn't remember a time where she wasn't hearing this scream. Annika looked out into space at the stars. Tamar suggested, "Look at the stars, Annika. Notice how they don't even notice what's going on here, inside this ship we've hitched a ride on. All these trillions of stars that have existed in the infinite ocean of space forever. See the beauty and the idea of the infinite, the peacefulness of it. Annika said, I'd rather think about home. It makes me smile inside. But I wish I could think of it without also thinking about the disease that killed all the people in our village. Every single one of them, but us. Try. Annika shook her head. No, it's not fair. We couldn't even survive anymore by ourselves, so we traveled to the city where no one would help us, and we snuck onto this ship. Tamar added, with the hope that we'd find somewhere where we could live, belong, and have love again. Annika gnashed her teeth together. But that didn't happen, did it? Instead, the ship we snuck onto arrives at a new world, and its engines destroy the world, just like the disease that destroyed our village and our precious life as we knew it. Annika whipped her head to her left, where she heard the floor creak. There was a creature standing there. It was tall, clothed in brown, had long hair, and wires were all over its body. Its eyes were angry, and they were aimed at Annika. The creature spoke. Who are you talking to? Annika said, To Tamar. The creature spoke, curious. My scans show me you're the only one left on this ship alive, and my scans have recorded everything you've been saying, by the way. I heard everything you said. So where is this Tamar? Annika answered, I don't know how to explain. Tamar is always with me, but is never with me. The creature knelt down to get at Annika's level, but the creature still towered above. There is no Tamar, is there? You're talking to yourself. Annika nodded and said, Yes. Tamar is in my head. She's not real. At least, not anymore. She used to be my sister, before the disease took her. The creature said matter-of-factly, You're not like the others. You're a completely different species. If I had to wager, I'd say the crew of this awful genociding ship didn't even know you were on board. You're a stowaway, aren't you? Annika replied, I am. I snuck on to find a new home, but I'm guilty just like the rest of this crew that killed your world. The creature sat down and asked doubtfully, And why is that? Annika said, Because I lived, and everyone else in my village died from the disease. I should have died too. So kill me. I deserve it. The creature pulled out something from inside its jacket. Annika saw that it was food. The creature asked, Are you hungry? I am, after all that killing. Annika said in a small voice, Yes, I'm hungry. And the creature handed Annika a piece of green fruit. She bit into it, and its shell was semi-hard, but inside it was wet and soggy, but sweet, so succulent. After some chewing of its own, the creature said, I'm called Chea. What is your name, little one? Annika said, I'm Annika. Are you going to kill me? Chea inhaled. No, I'm not. Annika asked, Then what will happen to me? Chea contemplated. I think that's up to you, but you and I seem like we're in the same boat, don't you? All your people are gone, and you don't have a world to call home. All my people and my entire world were just destroyed by this ship that I'm going to drag to a star, and if you want, you can go on my ship and watch this ship burn up as it gets eaten by the star. Annika raised her eyebrows. I can go on your ship? Chea put her hand on Annika's tiny furry shoulder. Yes, you and I are both in need of people. I'll be your people, if you be my people. Annika said, But you won't be the people I lost, and I won't be the people you lost. Chea agreed. That's right, but we can try to move on together. Annika thought out loud. Is it that easy? Annika looked at Chea. This Chea was so different than her. Chea was very tall, thin, and wore clothes. What was the purpose of all the wires? But Annika didn't think it mattered that they were different, because they were also the same. Chea stood up and said, It won't be easy, Annika, but you'll have to try. But enough. I'm done with this ship. Come with me to mine. Annika hoped aloud. Is it cold there? Chea confirmed. Yes. This ship is much too warm, isn't it? And Chea took out more fruit. Do you want some more fruit? Annika felt something inside of her that she hadn't felt in weeks. An ember of hope. It was like a campfire that had almost completely died out, and there was one last tiny remaining piece of wood that still burned, and the wind had knocked down a small branch that landed on that last ember. I would love more fruit. It's quite tasty. Isn't the fruit so good, Tamar? It almost tastes like Calthroon fruit from home. Don't you think so? The end. Thank you for listening to today's episode. We look forward to bringing you the next episode in Glenda Blasts Your Ear Off.